friends and family. Good night to everyone that's looking forward to the big show as always. Sports Friends once again here on a Monday. And I'm your host, Levon. With me tonight I have Jason, the statistician, out in a field that some of you guys don't know he actually has some vast knowledge about. And also we have one of the better sport analysts when it comes down to track and field. He's also an editor at Track and Field Nerds. And this man has vast knowledge. This is actually his strong area, track and field. Talking about no other than Avian Nugent. Welcome to Sports Frenzy for the first time, boss. And I'm sure that you're happy about this one because this is the Champs Preview edition of Sports Frenzy. So, good night, gentlemen. What y'all doing? Jason, how things stay on your side?
Good man. Oh, give thanks, Good night, everybody.
Wonderful. Davian, welcome to the show for the first time.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Champs preview. It's the day before Champs. Just finished one Champs preview before this show, and as soon as this one is finished, we have another Champs preview to do.
Whoa.
So
Yes, you're a busy
everybody
man all
wants
night.
to know.
But all right, let me tell you this, Davian. Don't watch the comment section. Just don't watch that shit. See, just focus right here. This is your focus. So let's get that there. But it's good to have you on the show now because it's been a while that we wanted someone that knows quite a few about track and field to actually join on the panel. And I hope that this is not your first and your last visit as an analyst on this show. So, Champs starts tomorrow. It's not the Champs that a lot of us expected. This is, some would say, the come up Champs. Some would say this one was just rushed to just actually get athletes competing. While it could be said that thinking was put in place and all of that for this to take place, some fans are disappointed while some are still happy that yes, they still can get to watch some track and field action from our junior athletes on television and also listening to it on radio. But you have people that are somewhat still skeptical, reason being we're still in the COVID grand scheme of things, and then a lot of people are concerned about these athletes' safety in terms of contracting the virus and all of that. But I believe that the organizers have put in place a good structure to counter all those things that people are currently having a problem with. So, on that note, I hope that this will be a successful champs this year, and I shall surely tune into it all. I'll be watching on TVJSN, and also One Spot Media.
You have to listen on KLS as well. But let me address all the concerns you just mentioned, right? First of all, hurry come up Champs. No, this Champs has been in the planning, in the making for at least I'd say 10 months. Since Champs 2020 was cancelled, there has been planning going on for Champs 2021. So in terms of hurry come up, I don't know about that. We have had some delays. We have had some changes happening on the snap. That is expected. COVID, you don't know what's going to happen, and people have had to adjust. But the good thing is that the adjustments have been made. And from what I am seeing, I'm hearing about almost 2,000 COVID tests for athletes. That's amazing. I thought the logistics train wasn't there to have that sort of testing done. We've done it. We've done it. Almost 2,000 tests. The results are coming in now. Some athletes, unfortunately, have tested positive. Last I heard, we're up to about 12 positive tests right now. So the logistics is in place. Everything is in place, and I mean it's an awesome job that our track and fraternity has done to put on these championships.
I was just about to ask you, what is your take on this inauguration of Champs itself? What's your actual thought on it?
Well, I mean, for me, it's not going to be a normal champs, as you said. I'm expecting slower times because of all the interruption in training and stuff. I'm expecting to see a lot more injuries than previously. And some of those injuries might very well affect the final point standings in the championships. So it's not going to be a traditional champs. A lot of the athletes won't have the sort of environment that they would have had in champs 2019, champs 2018. It's going to be a different champs, but it's a champs for the athletes. That's what the organizers have said. That's what the coaches have said. That's what everybody has said. It's not a chance for the spectator, for the journalists, for the coaches, for the schools. It's an opportunity for the athletes to get out there to perform, and for the seniors leaving high school to get an opportunity to get a scholarship.
So also, quick question. Based on some football action that I've seen around the entire world and some track and field events, there's been sound effects that have been put in place. As it relates to champs, could you give me any details as to whether or not there will be sound effects for this, or it will just be, as we'd say, it's just be athletes cheering on athletes?
No sound effects as far as I'm aware. It's going to be athletes cheering on athletes, and that's going to be important because we had the corporate era championships where there were a few instances where athletes said their performances would have been affected by the no spectators at the event, right? The fact is, when you have spectators at the event, when an athlete, for example, in the 800 is coming on, is catching up, so to speak, with an athlete who is leading, you get this big cheer going up in the stadium. That's not going to be there. So the athletes have to be hyper aware of where they are and what's happening around them, because you're not going to have that cheer, you're not going to have that drive, that push in the final 100 meters or so when you're doing a middle to long distance event. And you just have to be careful. It's not going to be the same environment.
Yeah, man, I get that. And it's actually good that they have put in place adequate measures to ensure that all these athletes are tested and all of that, because it was a major concern for majority of people that as kids that are actually partaking in champs and also bystanders who are just here to watch it and all of that. So it's good that they have actually put in place the protocols and all of that to get things done in a proper manner. Before I move on, as it relates to athletes that is going to participate at champs, could you give me a figure as to how much athletes are there currently slated to perform?
Well, in terms of
as you pointed out,
mm-hmm.
It's a different champs than before. That we know that we normally have quite a few athletes, and on this occasion, with some having injuries, some have contracted COVID, and some not even training, has it significantly cut from the amount that we normally would have seen?
Well, in terms of all that you've mentioned, it has affected the athletes, the training, the injuries, etc., etc. It has affected the athletes, but the cut in numbers isn't necessarily because of that. What has happened is that they have said, we're not going to have heats. In some events, we're going straight to finals, such as the throwing events. So the number of athletes that have qualified for the throwing events is limited. The number of athletes that are qualifying for the sprints, for the middle distance, again, is limited. So no heats. We go straight to semifinals and in some cases finals. So the number of athletes naturally would have been slashed. I think we're down to about 900 right now, 900 athletes in total across all events. Previously, we'd have had almost 3,000 athletes. So the number of athletes naturally would have been cut by the fact that we've eliminated the heats and stuff. But as I said, 1,600 tests done on athletes, on the COVID marshals, those who are going to be inside the stadium. Everybody has to be tested. So with those tests now being done, I think it's a safe bubble. And the bubble, I hope, will hold. I'm pretty positive it will, based on what I've seen in terms of the protocols. Very, very, very impressive. And I'm looking forward to a good champs.
All right, Jason, based on a statement that Davian just mentioned, he said that heats and the rounds for some of these events will be scrapped.
Right,
So,
the quarterfinals, the heats, those have been cut.
So Jason, on that note, would you say it's actually a good thing that has been done by the organizers, or it could impact these athletes knowing that it's either go hard or go home right now? You know that sometimes you might be there and you might be somewhat relaxed and say, okay, I'm just going to try to make it to the finals and we're going to take it from there. But no, it's just gun blazing from tape, from the blocks to the tape. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, for me, it can be good and bad in a sense, you know, because really and truly, as an athlete, for example, you sometimes want to, you know, some athletes might prefer to take a bit to like go through a rhythm, establish a rhythm, so they utilize the heats as, you know, some sort of initial thing to actually, you know. So when you have that knowledge now that it's just, you know, you go in semis and then whoever qualified just go straight to the finals, you know, your mentality will be impacted a bit. But I mean, it can be good as well in the sense that, you know, I mean, champs is already about, you know, go hard or go home. It's embracing the spirit of keen quality competition. So, and I mean, with the reduction in athletes, I mean, I think it's something that had to be done additionally. So I don't think it's anything that we can escape from. But I mean, to just start at the semis and then go straight to the finals, it pushes the athletes to want to actually do more and probably produce more quality. I'm probably health-wise for them as well. It impacts them positively because, as Davian pointed out earlier, that a lot of athletes might not be in the you know best condition with all the disruptions. So, I mean, for me, I think it's the way it ought to be done.
Agreed upon. Evan, there's a bit of breaking news that you want to share with my viewers, and this is the floor is all yours, so take it away.
Well, I don't know if I want to break the full news just yet. I want to see if the coaches can actually get the athletes ready, because what I'm understanding is that one particular camp is facing some serious challenges as it relates to injuries, which again, it's not surprising. It's not something, excuse me, it's not something that I'm wishing on the athletes. It's not something that I want to see happen, but it's part of the sport, and it's going to be part of this championship because of how the preparations have been done. And it's not a fault of the coaches. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way that COVID has affected or training this year. And hopefully the coaches can get the athletes ready and in shape to get them on track to perform as best as possible. If that does not happen, those injuries that I'm hearing about, and I said injuries, not single injury, but injuries that I'm hearing about may very well decide championships on the girl side and on the boy side.
All right, so Davian, there's one thing about us around here by Sports Frenzzyy. We don't entertain spin bowling. We don't do that. It's strictly the bouncer or Yorkers around here. Boss man, you go around the corner, you skip around the bend, and you try to twist it always. Cut to the chase. Which camp is being significantly affected, and could you possibly name an athlete that has been against this?
Whoa! So you want to put me on the spot? You want me to call a name?
You don't necessarily have to call an athlete name, but just give us an idea as to which camp has this affected. Because as I said,
all right, let me narrow it down for you. It is a corporate area school. It's a school that is contending for championships. It is one of the schools that the name has been called as favorites. Let me put it at that. Favorites. The favorites going in. Whoever you think the favorite is, that's the school that is affected by injuries.
All right. So, you know what? Our viewers are not analysts now. You are the analyst. So put it forward to them who it is. I have an idea now, but I won't be the one to say it. You go ahead and state it.
Well, there are two schools who have been called favorites by the analysts on the boys' side this year, and that's KC and JC.
JC.
Yeah. KC and JC. I didn't say anyone, but KC and JC are viewed as the favorites. And one particular camp, as I understand it, is facing some injury concerns right now. And if those concerns are real, cannot be rectified within the next day or so, that may very well decide championships. Again,
all right,
it's not something
you're surprising. You don't want cut to the chase and you don't want to say me being the host, and since as I'm not afraid, JC is the camp that is being affected. Don't come around here and beat around the bush.
JC is the camp being affected.
All over about some. I see a lot of top athletes name from JC that out of certain events. I can talk about one specifically. One, Christopher Scott will only be performing in the 100 meters at this champs. He won't partake in the 200 meters.
That is a given. DeAndre Watkins is also out. One of the
totally out of champs.
He's out of champs. So those are names that we expected. The names I'm hearing are names that are actually on the start.
Hold on a second though. When I just mentioned JC, I saw your reaction. So what they're going to do? Tell me that it's actually KC.
Am I?
That's what you indirectly did, because when I said JC and you made a sort of reaction, you kind of gave it away.
Oh, you're trying to say I don't have a poker face? Is that it? I don't have a poker face. I don't know.
But we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of champs now, and we're going to start on the boys' side. You have seen quite a few of these athletes right around the various meets that have taken place, in which there have been a handful, not much. But on that note, let's look at the contending schools, and we'll start with their class 3, because as you all know, champs for boys doesn't have a class 4, so we're going to start at the class 3 boys. Who are we supposed to look forward to, and what event in class 3 should me, the viewer, the host, and our viewers look forward to?
I'd say the boys class 3 400. 2 athletes at the corporate area championships went down to the line. Both athletes getting low 50s, mid 50s. One from Jamaica, well, one from Kingston College and one from Calabar. So the boys class 3 400 meters
call the names. Let our viewers become familiarized with these people. So call the names.
The name with me right now, so I'll get back to that. But in the class 3 events, definitely the 400 boys class 3 is one to watch. Yeah, pretty much the boys 400 in the class 3 event.
All right, so in terms of boys class 3 200 meter, let's see this one panning out. Because as you know, based on the boys class 3 200 meter, on that side, KC are seen as the favorites with Nick Carter Johnson and Taj Marquise White. So
Taj Marquise White.
Yeah, and they also have Jared Laird from Calabar and Malik Caridis from here to contend with. So how do you see this one going?
Well, personally, I have what you call it? I think Taj Marquise White is a real talent. He's one that I've been watching since his primary school days. So if I had to pick in Class 3, I'd go with Taj Marquez White. It's very difficult in Class 3 though, because in Class 3 athletes tend to pop up names that you're not necessarily expecting comes in Class 3. So that Class 3 200 boys will be interesting, but I'm 200. I'm with Taj Marquez White.
All right, if there's someone that would actually cause an upset in this event, do you think that Omari Robinson or Zachary Wallace from Maga? All right, Omari Robinson is from JC and Zachary Wallace from Magati. Do you think these guys can upset the upper card in this event?
Again, it's going to be interesting. The thing is, again, we haven't had kind of what do you call it now? The chance to see these athletes perform throughout a full season. So there are going to be some surprises in Class 3. But again, I think I'm going to stick with Taj Marquez White.
Jason, have you been following the Class 3 boys? Jason? All right, Jason seems to not be here. So, all right, we'll move on to the Class 2 boys now.
Mm-hmm.
What event should we look forward to? Otherwise, of the 200 meter, because we're going to get to that. But in terms of people that you have seen and the talents that are currently out there, what event would you say we should look forward to, and all the top schools?
Why are we moving away from the 200 meters though? I want to see the clash between Mark Manley. Excuse me. Excuse me. I got a little frog there. I want to see the clash between Mark Manley and what's his name again from Jamaica College? Miller. Mark Anthony Miller. I want to see the clash between Manley and Miller. That for me is going to be something to watch. Both athletes for me are class, and they've had some battles throughout the season, but I think come championships, that's one of the races you want to definitely watch. There's also in Class 2 from Kingston College, Yuri Lawrence, who's going to be in that Class 2 200 meters.
But I heard he's actually coming back from an injury.
Is he?
But that's what I saw sometime earlier, that he was not fully fit at one point in time.
That's not the question, though. I'm asking, is he coming back?
Currently, that's the question. Like based on right now, I can't say. It's why you know what's the analyst tell me, because you've been dropping some little subliminal that I just read through them, and you're just proving me to be correct that Casey is the camp that is being affected.
I am?
Of course you are. No,
okay.
Devin, look here,
man. You say so.
look here, man. Look here. I know the exact reason why they want to come out and say it, I think you're actually afraid of what the KC might say. So that's the reason why you're afraid to just bluntly.
Am I afraid of the purple power? The purple power?
I believe you are. Unlike me, I just talk it straight up. I don't care.
That's a problem. The thing is, tomorrow we'll find out whether or not it is KC or it is JC, but it is going to be interesting.
David, you know why I don't want to say it? Because it is being posited that you're biased towards a particular school on Red Hills Road. That's the reason why you're actually scared to actually just talk it straight.
But from what I'm seeing, the Red Hills Road School doesn't have a shot.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're going to say you want to jump on the wagon of JC, so JC can actually upset JC. Come on, man.
I'm jumping on a wagon now. All right, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you, Josh. Let me put it to you as clear as I can.
Not Josh, Levon.
Levon, sorry. Let me put it to you as clear as I can. As clear as I can. Both teams, Jamaica College, Kingston College, everybody comes out and performs where they're expected to perform. this championships will be decided by 20 points. 20 points either way. Jamaica College, Kingston College. It's that close, right? However, if there are major injury concern and athletes that we are expecting to score big points are not there, that may very well tilt the champion. So I'm not speculating. I'm speaking from firm knowledge about what is going on behind the scenes. And it's a situation where it's a race against time. You mentioned Yuri Lawrence. Yes, I can confirm Yuri Lawrence was injured. Is he going to recover from that injury in time to take his place in the 100, 200? He's entered in both events and favored to medal in both events. Will he be at the championships? We'll find out tomorrow.
All right, so quick question. You just jumped the gun and went to the 200 meter. And you pointed out Manley and Mark Anthony Miller.
Anthony Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you look at it, I've seen
there are other names, Grant.
I've seen a couple of sprinters out west. For instance, Orlando Winton, just one of Dennis of State. And then they have DeAndre, they have Herbert Morrison. These guys, right?
Right.
Do you think that they can actually?
All right, here's with the sprinters out. Here's the problem with the sprinters out west, and why I've been talking sprinters out west up. I haven't had the opportunity to see these guys compete on a regular basis. What has happened out west is the facilities out west that's the Catherine Hall Stadium. It's down for repairs. So these athletes haven't had the opportunity to compete on synthetic track like the guys in town
grass
or in central. Right, they've been competing mainly and haven't had the opportunity to see them. So I wouldn't be able to say 100% what sort of form they're in. Know that they're in camp. They're going to get the up to train, to rest, to relax, and to compete on the day at championships. Whereas a situation where you're leaving from out west to come to town, you have to get up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You drive 3-4 hours to get to town, and then you have to warm up. By the time your race is ready, you're already exhausted. You've used up your energy, so your performances might not be the kind that you get in a championship setting. So I'm not really mentioning them much, but they are still there. These guys are still there. They're still capable of big. But I have guys who are at the top right now and who are putting on the times.
All right, so we actually jumped over event that I actually wanted to look at. The boys class 3 sprint hurdles, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say it's going to be a clash between Kingston College and States. So it said that Kingston College is very deep in this event, with possibly top 4 hurdlers inclusive of Nick Carter Johnson, Daniel Clark, Kaim Carby, and Jordan Taylor. So with all that being said, it stated that they're expected to get maximum points from this event. But on the other hand, States has Jordan Thompson and Recoy Hunter. So how you see this happening?
Well, this is an event that, let me put it gently. This is an event that Kingston College has to score maximum points. The very minimum positions that Kingston College can get from.
All right, so Davian has jumped out a bit. We're now welcomed by an athlete that will be performing at this champs. He's an athlete that attends my alma mater, Ferncourt High, and I'm talking about none other than the bullet starter, Damien Darlington. Welcome, boss. What going on? How things stay up on your side?
Pleasant good night, man. What going on?
Yeah, man. How's training going for you?
Training, well, basically, training on and off, you know. I don't tell no lie, cause these are the first champs. I'm not prepared for that champs fully, bro. I'm not telling no lie. But knowing myself, I'm a fighter, you see me, and I'm a strong fighter. So I go out there, I'm going to rep for my school. And I go do well because Me in this long time, so me I go do well. Mm-hmm.
And you know that last year I expected, not last year, I mean the year before, I had expected you to done better, but for some reason you were
Well,
caught up with an injury and you didn't
and
partake in the semi. So, oh, in terms of that, have you gotten over that somewhat? Because that was a blip in a cut and Champ's career that was going quite well. Because as I pointed out to you on quite a few occasions, that you actually have a bullet start. It's just normally your last 50 to the 100-meter line that normally people tend to catch you up. So, in terms of that, have you worked on that aspect of your sprinting?
all right. All right, yeah, go as far as what that 2 years ago. For last year three, enough people say excuse me always with that injury, but honestly, me did pick up an injury while at champs. You see me, so that's why me never get to perform to my best of ability. But um, many people tell me, as I say, you tell me, enough people tell me say at the last 50-meter race, because anybody know me or watch me race them see say nobody can really beat me go 60 meters, you know, but me not have that level of top end speed there. So what me do, what me I do right now if I try, me I try get in as much drills, me I try make me turn over them fast, so you get to me I say, me I try do abs same way strength work, because me really me don't know if I weak or what, but honestly, if you're very strong, yeah, go left me when you reach like 70 meter. But you know, no little, you have to be very strong for go left me. But as me say, I weak apart of my areas. That's as me say, I just some strength work, some some abs work. Me I try abdominal. Come on, to stay firm up there, so because me see
Yeah,
say that's I'm a weak. I'm a weak
as
part of
as,
the
as I
race.
said, remember that it's a numerous occasion I pointed it out to you, And hold on a sec. Davian, do you actually know this athlete? Damian Darrington from Ferncourt.
I do.
All right, what's your assessment of
Um,
him? Because you have seen him at quite a few events.
mhm. All right. I'm going to say to the main, and I'm going to say to the world. There are few athletes who I see at champs, at the regional meets, and they might not be winning the events, but I look at them and I say, there goes another Safa Powell. There goes another Shelley and Fraser. Because their scope for improvement is so great. Um, I mentioned it likes of Oblique Seville. When Oblique Seville went to Calabar, I said Oblique Seville was going to obliterate people because he was already naturally fast, but he had the scope for improving, and then the facilities at Calabar was so good that it allowed him to get to that next level. I'm saying the same thing about a young Akeem Blake, who was at Merlin Attic. He's a pro now. I'm saying the same thing about the main. Once the main gets into the correct frame of mind where he's working and he has the resources that some of these schools in town have, training, the main Darlington will be one of those athletes that makes a big jump when he gets to the senior level. And some
All
of these
right,
are beating
Davian,
him now.
I'm glad I
You
pointed
have
out
to
that,
look at
because I'm saying I'm glad that you pointed out that, because this is a youth that I've seen on numerous occasions. As I said, he attends my alma mater. I've even met, well, let me not use the word met. This is an athlete that I've seen on a consistent basis 1v1. I've had numerous conversations with him, and I actually tell him myself that, boss, based on all the athletes I've seen at champs over the past, probably 3 years, nobody beats him when it comes down to that bullet start. He has one of the best reaction time I've ever seen, and because of that same reaction time, he actually almost fast started a racing champs that same 2 years ago. So in terms of that, I always say to him, say, boss, you need to work on the top end speed, and that comes down to strength training. So you need to do some more 400 work, and from there on, you can actually build yourself from there. Because as I said,
but Levon, let me tell you what it's called. That is called natural speed. Natural speed. You can't teach that. You can teach an athlete how to start. You can teach them how to maintain. You can teach them how to do anything. You can teach them, but you can't teach speed. You cannot teach speed. You either have it or you don't have it. Damien is one of those athletes who I look at and I say, there goes natural. Simple as that.
So, all right, Damien, in terms of you've seen the field that you've been competing against, and well, you have not had much, as I said, not much training this season so far. But in terms of what you have done this year, what's your season best so far?
Season best, bro. Medieval. My season best. I level 7 so far. 1 meet me run this season.
Whoa.
1 meet.
There you go, Levon. That's what I'm talking about. There are athletes in town who have done 4 or 5 meets. Fern Court, 1 meet. It's just the way it is.
No, not Fern Court, 1 meet, Me, personally, me.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, the team got multiple meets, but as me I say, there was a lot of differences, so me never plan for go champs, It's a son of calling me get for go champs. Really and truly. Me get champs. Alright, the level 7 do me run, it make the top 32, don't get me wrong, but me not compete in the 100 meters. So me get a calling up for compete on the 4x1. So me not run the 100 meters. So because me personally know say the level 7 they not gonna get me now with this championship. Me know that because me not depend of farmer training. So as me I say, I just son the calling me get.
All right. So in terms of individual events of Fern Court, is any of the athletes actually performing in individual events?
Huh?
Is any of the Fern Court athletes performing in individual events?
Yeah, man.
Could you give me a few of those athletes and the event?
We have a Derek Grant, man, 400 meter, man. We have a Ryan Jackson, 400 meter. We have a Abigail Campbell. She run 4 and she run 8. Yeah. The team not really big this year, but those are a few names,
All right, so you expect that Derek Grant can actually get a medal in the 400 meter because he was one of those super talents coming out 2 years ago. So how you see him looking in training?
Well, trust me, he's improved. He has improved a lot, and based on time, I think him wrong second going into champs in the 400.
Whoa.
If me not wrong, I mean sorry. I think him wrong second. So, well, if he manage the rounds properly and everything just go good, because that same year when me pick up an injury, him pick up an injury in class 3.
Yeah, man, I remember, man.
Yeah, he made the finals with the fastest time, but he was injured also. So, what I'm saying, if everything go right, this champs, without a doubt, he's going to medal, man. He's going to medal, man. Without a doubt.
All right, so Jason, you have heard this youngster, and as I said, this is a man that attends my alma mater. Based on what you have seen so far, is there any particular event that you're looking forward to that you could say, yes, this will be an event that we'll actually remember, even though it's as people call it, or come up jumps. Davian wants to discredit that, but I'm going to stick by that. Is there any particular event that you're actually pretty much interested in at this point?
For me, it's different from me. I'm not really per se looking forward to any specific event. I'm really looking forward to a specific athlete. For those who know me, those know that I attended St. George's, but majority of my family went to Jamaica College, so you can pretty much see where my allegiance will lie. But one particular athlete who has been mentioned on the show repeatedly, Mark Miller. I think he will be attempting the two and the 4 double, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he is somebody who I believe that could have, under normal circumstances, I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it now, but he could come close to doing. I'm just looking at his time and where he is specifically because I have very high hopes for him. Looking at him specifically, sometime when I go up by Old Hope Road and I see him training, you can see the mentality, you can see the drive. And his father pushes him a lot. So really and truly, it's not per se like a particular event, but I'm looking forward to seeing that particular athlete in particular.
Okay. Damien, I'm going to let you go and rest so you can actually get prepared to come into champs tomorrow. But boss, listen, make sure come out tonight. It'll make me proud, isn't it? Because a year's want a medal from Ferncourt in a boss. So come on, man. Just make sure to make me proud. Even if I get one in the 4x1, just do that.
Yeah.
Because me per se, you know. Listen, man. I'm not support no KC, no JC, no Calabar. I want school me I support and see it there.
Patriotism.
So, boss, just make me proud, isn't it?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
the
man.
process, man. We are gonna do it. We are doing it, man. Respect.
Good luck.
Alright,
Good
let's
luck,
see how
my
we're
boss. All the
respect the
best.
touchdown, boss.
All the
Just
best.
make
All
sure
the
say
best.
yes, you be injury free. If you can avoid the injuries, just try because as we told you just now, you know, you're one that we are looking out for the future. And as I know already, you're a man that is balancing the book and tracks because I know that you're good at the books as well. So keep focus. I wish you all the best. Wish Franco all the best. Just wish the team good luck. We'll see you next time. Blessings, boss.
Alright, enough love, bro.
Yeah, man. Big up.
So that was Damien Darlington, an athlete who runs 100-meter for Ferncourt High School, but won't be partaking in that event come this champs because he hasn't had adequate training. And I know from experience that they don't have the adequate facilities as well because, as Davian pointed out, majority of the teams on that side is just strictly grass. And I can talk about Ferncourt Field. Boss is one of the worst. So let me just move on. Before I move on to the female, there's quite a few other events on the boys' side that I'm looking forward to. So, Davian, Class 1 boys 400-meter hurdles. So you have Devante Archer of Excelsior. I think he's actually going out now from high school. And then you have Ryan Campbell from KC. And you have Javier Brown from Jamaica College that are being impressing throughout. Where do you see this one going?
This one's got to be interesting. Early season, I probably would have picked Archer because of his experience and because of his early speed over the 100. Got to 47 seconds over the 400.
Alright, so Davian has gone somewhat. So as I was saying, I'm looking forward to this event because Devante Archer is now actually going to leave high school, I believe, and he's pretty good. He's a pretty good athlete, and then as I said also, Ryan Campbell is coming in. All right, it's good that you have Davian. Davian, pick up.
You still there? Yeah, okay. I was saying KC chasing champs. We know what can happen when you're chasing champs. It's almost as if the athletes get an extra boost. Not gonna have the crowd though, so I don't know how that works out. But KC is still chasing champs. Ryan Campbell, Devante Archer. That's where my top two is. I'm going to Ryan Campbell.
All right, I understand
Kingston
it's going
College.
to go with Devante Archer. With no fans in the
Devante,
stadium.
don't get Devante is a good pick. He's a good pick, but I think Ryan, knowing that his goal is going to need that points, he's going to pull something out the bag.
As I said,
my only hope is that they get down to at least 50.5. I'd love to see a 50.5 or lower.
All right, Jason, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was saying that Campbell have the faster season best as well. I mean, it's by like a little poops a bit, but I mean, Campbell have the faster season best, but of course, Archer have the faster personal best. So I guess it's just who can execute on it.
Yeah, it should be a very good event. And then I'm going to look at the Class 1 boys discuss where KC is said to dominate this event with Ralford Mullings and Javan Osborne. Calabar over the years have had good throwing athletes, but they don't seem that strong this year. David.
Right. You are indeed correct. I'm expecting Ralford Mullins, who I think is probably one of the better discus throwers to have come through the Kingston College ranks to actually get it up there. I'm expecting him to actually get to 65 meters. 65 meters as a junior, you're looking at being absolutely world class.
All right,
He's at 60.
could you stick up in for a minute? Let's point out that for the first time in Champs history, we'll actually have 4 athletes in this discus that have thrown over 60 meters. And
Correct.
the thing is that none of them actually attends Calabar. So, as I mentioned before, you have Ralford Mullings and Javon Osborne. Then you have the Edwin Allen pair of Trevor Gunzel and Christopher Young. And to add into the mix, Brandon Lloyd from Clarendon College. But also, you just mentioned Mullings, but remember that Mullings was favored to win the discus event. But he's mindful of the fact that he was upset by one Christopher Young in 2019.
Correct. No, let me get to this. Let me get to this. Because this is one of the days I've loved. Hold a second. Seem to be getting a quick phone call. But I'll show at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry about that, guys. Staying with you about another 10 minutes and then leaving.
All right, quickly.
This is one of the events that I've enjoyed over the years. The discus. The throws have been one of the things that has propelled Calabar into 7 straight championships. Everybody keeps on mentioning the sprint quartet of Tyreek Wilson, Chris Taylor, DeJour Russell, and oh my God, Michael Stevens. Sorry, Michael. Everybody has been mentioning that sprint quartet, and then with Anthony Carpenter in there as well. Everybody has been mentioning that's a core of what has been the Calabar strength over those 7 championships. But everybody keeps on missing is the throws. The Calabar contingent has managed through Coach Julian Robinson to consistently put out throwers who are able to make it into the top 4, top 3. This year, I think it's looking tight. It's looking absolutely tight for them. Throwers over 60 meters. There are 4 of them. The best Calabar throw, I think, is about at 55 meters. That's Dennis Simmons. There's a struggle to get into the top 5 for the discus throw. There's a lot of hope for Kobe Lawrence, but it's more towards the shot.
Davian, because you said they have
so they're going to suffer there. Ralford Mullins for me is a favorite. Yes, I know he lost a couple of years ago to Christopher, but I still think Ralford is going to pull out this year.
All right. I have an event that I'm looking forward to on the boys' side, and it's between a pair that I've seen this season, and I believe this event will be one for the records. No, I'm talking about...
I'm not hearing you. You hear me?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you clearly, man.
Let me see if I can... You hear me now?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you, man.
Oh, boy.
You're not hearing me?
Let me try.
Are you hearing me? All right, something seems to wrong with the Devian connection. Jason, I was just about to point out that the event that I'm really looking forward to is the boys 800 meter class 1. It will be a clash between the JC pair of Javon Blake and Andal Roban. Both of these guys have been running very fast this season. Blake has already run 149.75, while Roban has run 150.30, the fastest time recorded in the event so far. So it is said to be a very good event, and we can't leave out Terrence Taylor, formerly of Bagua, now at Veer. And he was part of that epic breaking 800 meter race that saw him winning the silver medal and running below 149 in 2019. So this is an event that I'm actually looking forward to, and to be honest, I think this will probably be the race of champs on the boys' side, if not that 200 meter between Mark Anthony Miller and all those folks. But I expect Blake to actually win this event, and he's someone that I really have a lot of time for. Reason being, this man has balanced his book pretty well because he's a scholar. And then to be doing that good in track and field, I think JC expect that they will get the Quinella in this event. sad that Davian gone because we really wanted to get his prediction based on who we think will win champs. But I think Davian is a man that is afraid. That's just my thinking. Davian is scared. He's scared of KC folks. That's my thinking. That's part of the reason why Davian cut quick, you know. Davian, remember, me I watch because I'm afraid of the purple forward. That's why I run. But as I always said, the show have to go on, and I'll finish doing the breakdown of it. But as I was saying, this is the event that I'm looking forward to. Also, now on the female side, they're said to be. Well, it is stated that Heidel is coming to get Edwin Allen this year, but what they have to contend with this year is that Edwin Allen has always proven to be a all-rounded team, and once again at this champs, that will be the case again. But
how much years in a row now Edwin Allen are winning? I think he's like 10.
I'm not quite sure. I can't say that top of my head, but they're going after. They are on a path to actually set a record that probably no one will be able to beat over the coming years. But in terms of event that I'm actually really interested in, I'm really interested to see the Clayton twins against Brianna Liston, who formerly of St. Jago, now at Idle. This is a showdown that a lot of people has been looking out for the longest while, and it is said to will be one that will be for the ages at champs. Jason, you have seen all three athletes. I think Liston has defeated both of them this season already. How do you think this one will go?
This is a tough one. For me, I would go with one of the Clayton twins specifically. I'll probably take Tina. You know, as a statistician, I'm a big fan of stats. So one of the things that I love to look at is season based. Personal base, of course, shows potential and what they can reach, but season based, basically what they've done this season. Tina season base in 100 is about, I believe, just short of little less than 1140, I believe. And I agree that is a race of champs on the female side. Liston got a big win the other day over the twins, but I think that the twins will get back their revenge. A lot of people want for a change to say Heidel. A lot of people even rooting up Excelsior. A bit is probably take a little while before they reach there. But for me, I think the competitive spirit, as what was spoken to by Davian, like on the boys' side, we have Casey looking for points. I think really and truly that will propel Edwin Allen and the click.
Wow, it seems like these guys' connection have proven to be AWOL all night. Jason, could you just start out that and come back quickly? I'm going to continue on the breakdown of the female side, and I think also that the 800 meter for class 2 girls and also the 1500 meter is another one that we should look forward to. All right, back in 2019, the class 3 middle distance rivalry between Kishiro of Spalding and Jodie Mitchell of Homewood. A lot of people didn't thought that this athlete would have beaten Kishiro based on her diminutive figure. She's so small, but she seems to have a very big heart. And if you look at it, as I said, Rowe defeated Mitchell at the pre-championship meets, but Mitchell had her revenge come girl champs, and at the character games also, Mitchell won gold while Rowe had to be satisfied with silver medal. They are set to continue their rivalry this year, and they have company this year also. They have been joined by Rikisha Sims of Edwin Allen. And guess what? Sims defeated both of them in the 1500 meter at Central Champs. Rowe came second while Mitchell came third. But in the 800 meter, Mitchell took revenge by beating both of these athletes. And the interesting thing about this is that all three athletes went under 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So it was actually interesting that we can have all these athletes running that fast, and it's just something that we have to look forward to. And let's see how this one pan out. Jason, on the girls' side,
you seem to be a big.
Go ahead.
I just ready to say you seem to be a big fan of the distance events.
Of course, but I used to do 800 meter.
Oh, Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I guess where the motivation. That's where the motivation comes from.
Yeah, man. But we are reached a stage of the show now that we're going to be bold. We're going to be brave. So Jason, on the female side, and this is where I can possibly bring in Ryan now. Ryan hasn't seen much of the track athletes, but of course he can still go ahead and give a call as to who we expect to place in the top three. So we're now joined by Ryan Lawson. Good night, boss. Welcome.
Bless. There.
All right, Jason. So we're going to start on the female side. Give me a top three in the specific order.
School wise, I think I'll go with Homewood.
Whoa.
To
Hold
finish
on. Let me
third.
think.
Forward, first or third? You mean?
Let me think. Let me think. Let me think again. Let me start. Homewood third, Heidel second, and Edwin
Okay,
first.
so it's basically your 2019 champs finished. Jason, how you see this one going?
Oh, that was the finish?
Yeah, that's the top three. I still return to the boys, man.
I agree. I want to see funny enough when, like in the period of my high school, Homewood was seemed to be the undefeated team. Um Glad how Edwin come and pass them now, but for me, yes, I agree with Ryan. That would be my top three as well.
Um, you actually think that Idol can actually beat this this Edwin Allen team, Jason?
Nope. No. Heidel has been trying. Heidel has been trying at some point. I don't remember which year it was. At some point, I wondered if they would have actually done it. But for
2019.
me, yeah, yes, exactly. The last one. So Edwin Allen for me is the team to beat. I think it's one of those occasions you hear it in football a lot, where teams just are too good that the only drawback or the only way they can experience defeat is if they defeat themselves. So for me, that's where I'm with Edwin. I'm more interested in the boy side, to be honest.
Okay, I being the host, just to cut to the chase, I'm going to say it. Edwin Allen will win. Reason for that is that, as I pointed out earlier on, they're too all-rounded for Idol. If they slip up in the on the track, they have the field events to back it up, because there are quite a few events that it is slated where I see a lot of people have penciled in Edwin Allen for the Quinella. So in terms of that, I don't think Idol has much athletes in the field event. So it's more on the track that they have to put out all their stocks. As I just pointed out, and I just said it as well, that I expect Idol to finish second. Homewood for third, because they don't really have much of a deep squad this year, and it is said that they haven't trained much either, so that will significantly impact them. And if that is the case, they could possibly add St. Jago and possibly Vera or Wolmans into the mix. So now move over to the boys' side. Jason, how do you see this one going?
This one will be tight. I'm not sure the specifics where camp is concerned and who is having injuries and all of that. That is something that I'm not 100% privy to. So, um, but for me, as much as it would pain me to say it, I think KC will take it over JC. It will be tight. JC will give them quite a challenge, and it's good to actually see other schools coming out. You were kind of getting tired of the duopoly between KC and Calabar. Not to disrespect Calabar, but you want to encourage greater competition from other schools, of course. So, but overall, KC will edge it for me.
All right, Ryan, it's now your time to say who will take boy championship this year.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with Jason. AC will unfortunately win this one, as it seems.
All right, I'm going to make my prediction after Ryan is finished. So Ryan, second place is expect JC.
Yeah, it
And
seems that JC will get second, and I'll give third to Calabar.
our producer, don't think you get to win because they're gonna make your prediction to win. But I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be bold, and I'm not sure which of the camp the athletes are actually injured. I can't say who it is because I don't have concrete knowledge as to who it is. But if JC is actually fully fit, I'm going to say I expect JC to win champs this year by about 10 points.
I would hope so.
That would be refreshing.
So producer, who is winning boys champs this year?
Alright, for boys champs, well, the KC fans always say that I'm very.
Producer, that they're not hearing you clearly, so come back to closer. Go ahead.
Alright, the KC people them know. Them not like me, you know, when it comes to KC, when it comes to champs. They always say me a troll KC. They say me love troll KC, right? And I was glad for them. But I'm going to continue. With KC, just like the last time, as the favorites for boys chapter. They will just edge out JC. JC will not be ready until next year to really take chance. That's my view, personal view. On the girls' side, right? I think that Idol will take it from
Wow.
this year. I'm really
Wow.
Ideal.
All right, my lawyer.
I can say this much. If you ask me to be patriotic, this is who I expect to win champs. One first quarter is cool. But
Question: has Francourt ever won a bronze medal at champs?
this man if it just always company can give me some little uppercut, you know. Why you stay so man? Why couldn't just let me just enjoy the night? But since as you touch that, I can say it, you know, that Francourt has produced Navleen Williams Mills, so I'm quite fine with that. And don't forget, remember that you're a politician too, you know, Ryan. Just remember that there's a particular person known as Aluma Samba, you know. She went to Francourt too, you know. I don't remember Seymour Mullings too. So yeah man, I have history. I have history.
There are more that you forget.
No man, just let it rest there. I'm not going to go on to no more. Just leave it there. But that's all I expect it to finish, and I just want JC to win, just to shut up these KC fans. Because me personally come on to champs, and it's like KC fans. Not going to go in the corner and beat in the bush. But overall for these champs, I just wish good health and hope that majority of these athletes will come out of champs still being injury free. That's my hope, and they'll actually follow along to the protocols that are put in place as it relates to the COVID measures. So I just hope that all these athletes perform well, and I'm looking forward to them. And that's just my take. I just wish them all the best. We're going to touch over to some football that a lot of these viewers have been balling for. They have been beckoning for this. We had already discussed the Newcastle against Leicester City match from our previous show. Now we're going to touch on the Leeds against Tottenham, and Shakes got this one correct. Shakes actually said that Leeds is a team like this. Win this week, lose next week. So they lost the previous week, and they ended up beating Tottenham 3-1. Quickly, Ryan. Something that you expected?
I call that draw, but Leeds win is not entirely shocking, given that at home, no top 6 team has gotten a win against Leeds, and also their consistency in being inconsistent. So it's not entirely a shock, even though I went for a draw.
Okay. Next up, on Saturday morning, we saw Crystal Palace getting a 2-0 victory over Sheffield United. And this was the Ebreki Eze show. It was absolutely monstrous, and he scored a goal that some people are comparing to one that Gareth Bale had scored for Real Madrid when he put the ball around the defender and ran on the outside. And it was a sublime goal by Ebreki Eze. The second goal that he scored. Jason, quickly.
Potentially goal of the season that I had predicted the reverse, that Sheffield will probably win, but Palace put them to the sword from early, and Eze, of course, just had a wonderful game. They just couldn't contain him. Between him and Zaha, they have problems with dribbling players like that Sheffield. So good win for Palace.
All right. Next up, we saw the big one that a lot of us had said that would have been a draw, except for one Aladdin. He actually called the scoreline correctly. So Man City 1, Chelsea 2. Even though some are saying that the referee actually steal the game for Chelsea because that was a stonewall penalty for Raheem Sterling. But as I always say to people, football is all about give and take nowadays. So it's either you get sometime, another time you don't get it. I stop crying over refereeing decision. So Ryan, your take on the game itself.
Well, as I said, I would have preferred a draw for the reasons that I mentioned, but a win is also good, especially for the fact that it solidifies us in the top four. So we are basically just one win shy of confirming a top four position. Some of the decisions, yeah, they look iffy in a sense. I think the second Zuma challenge on Sterling should have been given as a penalty. If it is that you're going to give the Gilmore one as a penalty, then the Zuma one seemed a lot more stonewall to me. But it is what it is. It wasn't given because for some reason the ref saw otherwise.
And make sure to give special mention to one Kun Aguirre now, because that was
yeah, man, I'm leading to right now. A lot of people, you see, when you're doing a Panenka, you have to make sure it score.
Is that simple? Stupid.
Exactly.
You remember Ademola Lookman earlier this season when Fulham desperately needed that, and who to tell that? Had he scored that, Fulham might have well. Go on.
Sorry. Yeah. The difference with Lookman own and Suarez, Aguero's own rather, is there's a big difference between them in the sense that Aguero basically on his way what he wants to go to the bank. His team is already winning the league. If you miss that, is neither here nor there in my view. Lookman, last minute of the game, you're trailing, your team is in a relegation fight. You need every single point possible. You don't try that at that point. Aguero can get away with his because of the situations that I mentioned. The team already win the league basically, and he has scored 200 goals for the team, and he's on his way out, and he's trying to go to the bank. Yeah. Fine, it did not work out how he wanted it to go. As for him apologizing, I don't see why there was a need for that because these things happen in football.
No worry yourself, friend. The man apologized because they'll lose the next 3 games, and then I won't say the rest.
What? Are you going to draw one? Are you draw one and then what happens?
I won't say the rest. But next up we saw Liverpool getting a 2-0 victory over Southampton. Man is scoring against his former side, and finally, after 365 thumbs up, Thiago Alcantara actually scored a goal. Jason, quickly.
It was a good game of football. For me, I don't think any team, deserved to lose. But Liverpool took their goals well. It's a first goal for Thiago, first person for Liverpool to score his first goal outside of the box since Origi, all those years ago. So overall, it was a good win for Liverpool, a much needed win. In their top 4 push. Klopp said they needed to win all their games to ensure Champions League qualification. So that was the initiator of what they want to achieve.
But they will cut back down to it, man. And finally, well, let me also point out that they have scored 2 goals at Anfield for the 2nd time this year. Wow, congrats.
But big up Demo. He's in the comment section.
Next up we saw Wolves against Breton. Wolves got a 2-1 victory after Breton got 2 red cards. Dunk was hero until he became a villain.
Zero.
Scored, then got a red card, and ended
Silly.
up that Wolves make amends and they got the winner through one Morgan Gibbs White, another talent that I actually have a lot of time for, another English talent. Just hope that he will get enough game time next season. Not much there to discuss then. I was proven right once again, but I'm just going to wait until I return further. Next up, we saw Aston Villa versus Man United. Bertrand Traore scored a good goal after Lindesoft gave away the ball in the penalty area after some stupid play between Fred and McTominay. But then, second half, FC came back and got 3 goals. A brilliant goal by Mason Greenwood. Penalty by Bruno Fernandes, in which that was never a penalty, man. The man once, man still carry on the man decides, and yet Douglas Luiz was at point in time in control of that ball.
But you realize
Still
the
ran through,
Villa,
man.
you realize Consa was the one who was cussing out Douglas Luiz.
Yeah.
Ezra Consa.
Because you know it's actually second time Douglas Luiz is doing this against United, and it's the second time he's doing it against Pogba.
Second time against Pogba. Yeah.
But
that's why Consa turned on and started cussing. So why you do that?
The most important stats of this match is that, guess what? United have confirmed qualifications for Champions League for another season. The first time since Sir Alex Ferguson has retired. So another hat in Ole wheel.
Yeah, so, another Europa fan.
This man always just have to spoil the fun. Why? Why? Producer, shut up. West Ham won't score 30 goals, so don't come with that. But Jason, I'm sure that you're happy that we actually won that match, and you can be short a few stats about it now because you're a statistician.
So how much time will come back? Tell me that stat.
The 10th time this season.
This is our 10th time this season. And you know, it's funny because you see some wild stats with United this season as it relates to comebacks. United has actually seen more matches where they've been under 1-0 than they've actually been leading 1-0. I think that is crazy to know that we've secured 31 points from losing positions, which is more than the season, when the last season when we won the league under Fergie, when we got 29. We've had, 16 occasions where a team has gone into halftime losing.
Alright, so Jason connection seems to have gone, but Ryan, to answer your question, we have gained 31 points from a losing position this season. It's not something that I'm necessarily comfortable with, but they have now become known as the second half FC, so I guess I'll just have to live with it. Because the thing is that United start off the first half of games so slowly. I can't understand why this is the case, but this is what they do against majority of the teams. It was probably only against City and a few other teams that they could say, they started off the game fast. And yesterday it was at a decent pace and they never capitalized, and then boom, shocking defense and actually conceded. Jason, about there quickly?
Yeah, man.
Finish up quickly.
So it's wild. So United responsible for 31% of the wins that have come after losing 1-0 at halftime. So we can be hailed as the true comeback kings after we become the first EPL team to get to 100 comeback wins in Premier League history. But I agree with you in a sense that it is not a good practice. I am tired to see the team going behind. We should be learning to command more matches from the beginning until the end, because we can't always rely on our second half prowess to get us through games. But overall, it was a good win. Big up to Mason Greenwood, who is our top scoring teenager, and he doesn't even turn 20 until October. So he
best forward England have. Better than Harry Kane.
You're looking for a reaction. You're looking at a
Mr. Ryan,
reaction.
agree?
You're looking for a reaction.
All right. Next
Tell
up
me
was
something. How long is it that Maguire is out
Maguire.
for?
Whoa. It's a tricky situation now because reports said that he'll probably hold for even the Europa finals, but it said that he's also a person that heals quickly from injuries. So it's
Yeah,
just
because him don't really get injured, you know.
so it's a touch and go situation. They haven't definitively came out and said, "Oh, he'll be out for this amount of time." So just a wait and see.
I definitely wouldn't risk him this week. For me, I'd probably leave him out until the Europa final, because even after this week, we only
I
have
think so.
Fulham and Wolves left. Fulham already relegated.
You don't have any
And
reason
Wolves,
to risk him
yeah.
until
But I can't tell you this much
risk him.
though. Be prepared to see our Maguire against Liverpool come Thursday.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yo, once that man is 50%, that man is going to play.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Next up we saw Everton putting a dent in West Ham Champions League hopes. Everton got a 1-0 victory. Ryan, quickly.
Well, that was a well-taken goal by Calvert-Lewin, is what I can say. It was also a very good game in terms of action. And Benrahma got a chance that if it was Mikel Antonio, it would have been a goal. The wrong person was on the end of that chance at the time. Calvert-Lewin could have easily gotten a hat-trick of assists. Somehow the team around him weren't finishing properly. He gave like 3 clear-cut chances to other players who somehow managed to find a way to miss the chances. So all in all, it was a pretty decent game. I think West Ham hit the post at one point as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a decent game, and it worked out well for me as a Chelsea fan. West Ham dropped points. So yeah, all in all, a good game otherwise.
Final 2 matches that we saw were the relegation battle. Well, not really battle. It was matches that included the teams that are now relegated. So first up, I want to say Sherwin, my bet paid off. I told you that Big Sam wouldn't actually save them. And I saw you doing all this reverse psychology about West Brom 9, Arsenal 0. It wasn't to be. Willian, after many chances, actually finally scored a goal for Arsenal. The same Willian who left Chelsea and said that he's going to Arsenal to win trophies. Arsenal and Nicolas Pepe celebrated a goal after being in 10th and now move up to 9th. Big Sam getting relegated for the first time in his career. It was inevitable. It wasn't something that we weren't sure from the get-go. This was just bigger than Big Sam. He came in too late and it was too much of a daunting task for him to actually save them. If it was a case where they would actually face Chelsea weekly, of course they'd actually still be in the league, but they don't face Chelsea on a weekly basis. Exactly. So that's not the case. So it's goodbye West Brom. It was nice while it lasted, and I just hope that a couple of the players actually get some move to some EPL clubs. For instance, Matthias Pereira, because I think he's a decent player. And Conor Gallagher will actually go back to Chelsea. Hope that he get a decent move as well.
He said he's going to fight first place at Chelsea.
Okay, time will tell if Tuchel will keep him.
Good luck to him.
Next up, we saw another one that I'm somewhat disappointed with them because Fulham should have done better. And we spoke about that Lookman miss. That was a season-defining moment because had he scored, they would have got what? 3 points from the match itself? No, it was a draw.
No, a point. It would have been a draw.
They would have gotten a draw. And who to tell if that point wouldn't have propelled them on? It wasn't to be though. And today they lost 2-0 to Burnley, confirming their relegation from the EPL. Quickly, Jason.
Oh, repeat the question.
Fulham getting relegated.
Oh, boy, it's something that I don't like seeing. I am not the biggest fan of relegation. Not that I'm an American, but you know, when these moments are confirmed for certain teams, it kind of leaves a sour taste. I personally didn't want to see Fulham get relegated. I'm sorry, Palace never switch with them or something. But for me, I think Fulham have some players, as I pointed out with West Brom, that can be suited to some Premier League teams. We all know that we'd want to see Bobby Reed stay in the Premier League, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and some other
Boss,
players. And
why you couldn't say Michael Victor? Why you stay so youth?
no, sorry, him can stay in a championship. Probably go as
Hector,
far as League One.
Hector can have a conference.
The disrespect. But
But
finish up, Jason.
yeah, Fulham will be back. I'm sure it's some you saw as well
Yeah, man. They will be back come next season.
so Fulham will be back next season. Scott Parker is a good manager. I see him doing good things with this Fulham team. So just back him, and you'll expect to see Fulham by the start of the following season after next.
They and West Brom will find a way to come back. For
Yeah, they're
some,
both will.
No,
for
West Brom
some
can't
reason,
stay.
West
they
Brom is
always
going to
find
come
a,
back up as well.
West Brom can't
they
stay.
always find a way for some gut reason.
All right. Let's also point out that we actually got a few results correct over the weekend in other leagues as well. And Aliden also predicted them. Shakes predicted them. Ryan said it too. And also Barcelona against Atletico, we call a draw. So said, so done. Real Madrid against Sevilla, said a draw. So said, so done. But the result of the weekend, well, before I get to the result of the weekend, Ryan also said it that Borussia Dortmund would have won. They did won, and now they're in fourth place in the Bundesliga. They're now in a Champions League spot. They have
When you must
overtaken
listen to me
Eintracht.
when we talk about the experience.
They have drop point. They overtaken Eintracht Frankfurt, who drop points against Mainz, and now it's all in Borussia Dortmund to go on to get Champions League qualification.
Yeah.
Result of the weekend, though, Juventus and one Cristiano Ronaldo are now currently in a Europa spot. Were beaten 3-0 by AC Milan yesterday. Was it much of a shock to you, Ryan, or it was just destiny?
I would not really say a shock, maybe the scoreline, but the loss not really a shock because they are basically two even keel teams. There's not much difference between Juventus and AC. Juventus is a mismatched
Well, yeah.
squad, and AC is basically up and coming, not there yet either. So they are led by a 40-year-old man. So yeah.
Ryan, can you just for a minute, just think and let this simmer in it for a minute. Can you imagine Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick against Lokomotiv Plovdiv next season in Europa League and his fanboys just jumping up and down? Because as I told you guys, this is where Juventus will be playing next season. Europa League for Juventus, Europa League for Liverpool. So that is what is going to happen unless Cristiano make the switch over to Sporting, who has basically won their league and has cemented a place in next season Champions League. So I think he can go back to Sporting now.
Well, I can see what happened. I don't think if Juventus goes to Europa, is going to stay.
All the time will
That's
tell.
my feeling. But somehow I think Juventus will find a way to make the top four. All you have to do is don't listen to what Pirlo says and just play.
Boss, the man is the coach, man. I tell the man them say don't listen to the man. Come on, man. Don't be unruly. Are you telling man them to be a keeper? Don't do that, Ryan. But on that note, on that keeper moment, this is where we call it a night on the show. It was a decent show. We expected to have had more viewers, but the viewers seemingly never held out with us tonight. But once again, thank you to Davian who came on to give us the prediction when it comes on to champs and champs preview. He didn't stay for the whole night because he's scared of the KC massive. That's all I'm going to say. He's scared of the purple power. Unlike me, I don't care about them. I just start my mind and whether they want to agree or not, that's it. But I also want to say thanks to Jason who also chimed in on the champs and to Frank High School track and field runner. Won't be partaking in 100 meter this year, but he'll be part of the 4x1 team. Damien Darlington, who came on and gave us the insight into his training regime and also what I can expect from French champs this year. Ryan, who came into the back end and gave his champs prediction as to the top three on both sides. And then afterwards, we talked about some football. So I want to say thanks to our producer, Josh Collins, makes this possible. And also to all our viewers, the ones who stood by us throughout the night. Even though you guys weren't many, I appreciate all of you guys. And without you, there's no show. So I want to say thank you all for staying with us for the 1 hour and 20 odd minutes. It was a pleasure delivering this podcast to you guys. And just stay tuned for our next show, which more than likely, hopefully, will be on Wednesday, where we'll be touching on some champs to see what has happened over the 2 days, because there'll be champs action on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and some will take place on Wednesday as well. So take care of yourself, guys, and until next time, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your night.